Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. My name is Jacob Elyachar, and I'm the chief content producer and writer of the Jake's Take website, which is basically entertainment news and pop culture website. I'm very excited today to have this guest with me. She is a former New York Jets cheerleader. She was on The Amazing Race 27 with her former teammate Tiffany Torres. They both came in fourth place, and also many people in the reality television community recognize her from her time on Sequester. So please help me welcome Krista DeBono.
Oh my God! Wow, I feel so cool. If you could see my smile right now, that was like the coolest intro ever.
Thank you, Krista. I want to say thank you so much for taking your time out of your schedule to talk with me.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to talk to you. I have my new microphone. I'm ready to go. I feel very podcasty, so let's do it.
Alrighty, guys. Before we get down to business, I want to let you guys know on something. The Jacob Elyachar with Jake's Take podcast the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast is not affiliated with Viacom CBS, The Amazing Race, Sequester, and Audrey Middleton. So let's get this. Let's get down to business.
Let's get down to it. There you go. You let it out.
Alrighty. So Krista,
yep.
When did you get interested in the entertainment industry? And how did that passion evolve into desire to pursue a career as an NFL cheerleader?
So I actually started as soon as I could walk. I basically would walk around my house in a tutu. My mother would say I was dancing since I was, literally, I'm not kidding, since I was able to walk. And I just always knew that I wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be a ballerina, a dancer, anything in the entertainment industry. I mean, I cannot sing, so there goes that. But I knew that dancing was my passion, and I actually danced my whole entire life, and then I stopped when I went to college, and then actually went back after 4 years of not dancing and just blindly auditioned for the Jets. I woke up and saw the tryouts, and I was like, hey, let me just try this out really quick. So it was kind of a fluke thing.
That is incredible. And how long were you with the Jets for?
I was with the New York Jets for 4 years. I did it while I was getting my master's, actually. So it was a pretty intense time of my life. Now that I look back, I'm like, how did you do it? But, I was just go, and I loved it. I lived for it. So, yeah, 4 years.
Awesome. So this brings me, one of the people that you meet on your team is Tiffany Torres.
Yes.
Alrighty, so I've noticed that 2020 is your 5th anniversary since you and Tiffany competed on The Amazing Race.
I can't even believe that. That is insane. It feels like we just got back. 5 years? Are you sure? That's crazy. Yeah, it's been 5 years. Wow.
So how did that experience help you grow as a person?
Oh my gosh, it was the best experience of my life. I went to places that I could never even dream of. I mean, people always ask me, what was your favorite part? Where was your favorite place? Just from the whole production crew down to where we went was just phenomenal. A+. They treated us amazing. They took care of us, like just the whole staff in general, the crew. I can't give them enough credit to begin with. And then filming the show on top of it, all of the tasks, the rush, the adrenaline, that part of it, it was truly, truly one of, if not the best experience of my life. And I wouldn't have done it any differently. Honestly, I have no regrets.
Awesome. So how did you and Tiffany get the idea of trying out? And then what was your reaction when casting say, you're in?
So I kind of always made it a statement that I was going to go on. For some reason, that was my show. I always said it. I was like, when I'm done cheerleading, I'm going on The Amazing Race. I'm doing this. I'm going on the show. I didn't know with who, but it was always kind of a dream. And I was applying for this season. I was filling out, all the casting, the paperwork, and I actually got contacted by a producer during my whole application process. And, the next thing I know, we're going to semifinals. we're going to finals. We go through everything. We still weren't sure. You know, we have to fill out a ton of things and background checks. And I was at work and I see my phone ringing. It's from LA. Who's calling me from LA? I mean, it has to be them. So it was either the yes or the no call. I'm hiding in like a little corridor of my job. I'm a speech pathologist, by the way. So I'm in a school and I'm hiding in like the hallway and I get the call like, you're on. And I couldn't tell anybody because it was a secret. So it was just something that I kind of had to celebrate inside, and I wanted to just scream out loud like, oh my God, you have no idea who just called me. But I couldn't. But me and Tiffany definitely, you know, celebrated in that little hallway. I'll never forget it, where I was.
That is pretty cool. I gotta say, that was getting that call must have been incredible. And was it a challenge to say, okay, I'm going to go on this race, I'm going to go race around the world, but I may need to leave my life and job behind?
Oh, yes. I mean, this for me, a lot of people, not a lot, but there are some people that may, you know, bank on doing a reality show and then put their job on hold before they go to school, or a lot of people start younger. Now, I was older. I already had my master's. I already was a speech language pathologist. I had my license. So I actually had to take a leave of absence from work, and I work, you know, for a school district. It's not just like somewhere I could be like, hey, I'll be right back, you know. So I was shaking, like telling my principal, and I'm getting nervous thinking about it. I was like planning out what I was going to say. I'm like, by the way, so she was under contract too, by the way. So I had to tell her, you have to sign this contract. And my principal's looking at me like, what is going on? Luckily, she was a fan of The Amazing Race, a huge fan, and was absolutely thrilled. So I got really lucky with that. But leaving my family, not only my job, but leaving my family, I haven't been away from my family for more than like a week. And you know, I'm Italian. I come from a huge family. That was really hard for me, and not even being able to speak to them at all. That was the biggest challenge, and my dog, because I was like, I just want to know if my dog was okay. It's really, really hard. All the little things you don't think about, you really stress when you're away.
I can completely understand that. So, you're on the race. And as you know, there are different tasks. One its signature task is the roadblock. And I remember that you performed 6 of them.
Oh, my God, yes. Well, they changed the rules so that they made it so that you kind of have to have an even amount. So back in the day, I believe that there wasn't that rule where someone can take on a little bit more. But we made it so that we would switch on and off because we had similar strengths, and you know, we said let's switch on and off just to make it easier on each other. So that's what we did, and yeah, I wound up with 6 of them. Crazy.
Boy, so do you have any highlights that you would love to share with my listeners?
So I'm gonna say everyone always asks me like, where my favorite place is and if I wanted to go somewhere else or something along those lines. And I have to say that when I went to Africa, it was the most beautiful experience of my life. I felt like I was in a movie. I mean, you would be in a cab and just an elephant would walk by in the middle of the street and the cab would stop. It was incredible. Like I could close my eyes and picture it just being there. And you know, I got to just be so enriched in other people's culture and see how other people live and take in, you know, what other people do every day and see this whole other side to the world. I mean, we went to 10 countries in 21 days. When can you ever say that you can do that in your life besides being on The Amazing Race? You know, it's a once in a lifetime experience that only a few get, and I feel so blessed and so grateful.
Awesome. So when you and Tiffany arrive at your last play at your final leg, it says Krista and Tiffany, your team number 4, sadly you're eliminated. Mm-hmm. What was going through your mind?
You know, I was okay. I was so proud. I was just so proud of us because being, you know, 2 females small females. I mean, I'm 5 foot. Tiffany is like 5'1", maybe 5'2". You know, getting that far in general, everybody, you know, we heard back at the hotel that everybody thought we were coming back. They would say, "Who's the next team coming back?" And the people on our season would go, "Oh, probably the cheerleaders." So when we just kept going and going and going, I think we shocked a lot of people. And I just remember this. I was okay. That's what I said. It's okay. We did good. And you know what? Who knows? I could have made a fool of myself on that next task. So we went out on a high note. You know what? I'm totally okay with it. The finale looks really, really intense. I don't know how you would have did, but I was proud. I was just, that's all I could say. That's really how I felt.
Awesome. So one of the questions I have for you is, I always want to know, what are some of the challenges that people who've been on these shows like The Amazing Race, Big Brother, Survivor, and like being associated with reality television, how do you overcome those obstacles?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked this question because, you know, it's not all the glitz and glam. There's a whole other side to it. Nowadays we have social media, which is such a blessing and could be, you know, a curse at the same time for the shows, or the people on the shows, I should say. It's hard to kind of balance, you know, the good comments with the negative comments, but I mean, you have to realize these fans are really, really passionate about the show, and you have to kind of just take things in stride, not take things too personal. I do take things very personally, and I learned really, really quickly, being on reality television, you cannot be that way because you're going to have your critics and they're going to voice what they feel. And that's okay. They're entitled to. But it's kind of hard. It's definitely something that you need to get used to. But once you put yourself into the spotlight, you know, you're kind of giving people access to yourself and you're putting yourself out there. So, you know, I would just say, if you're going to be going on reality, you know, television, be prepared for the good and be prepared for the ugly. You never know what you're going to get. And you have to be a strong person. And it made me a lot of a stronger person coming out of it. And definitely, I would advise people, just be yourself, just be you. And, you know, you'll have no regrets with that, because I certainly don't. I'm just me. That's who I am. And if you don't like it, lump it. That's what my family says. I don't know.
Well, like I say, that's incredible. And I think that everyone should have that mindset when it comes to dealing with this reality TV world. And especially, like, what I notice about shows like American Ninja Warrior and America's Got Talent, it's they lift each other up. With Survivor and Big Brother and the challenge, it's let's beat each other up.
It's very hard, and I do see that a lot, and it gives me anxiety, man, just looking at all the fighting and stuff like that. But you know what? You have to show people that you're not afraid to stand up for yourself too, because people will try to tear you down, they'll try to break you. And that's why when, you know, I'm very vocal on my Twitter. If someone has something, you know, that they nasty to say or that they don't really like, then I'm going to voice my opinion too. You know, I learned that I have to speak up for myself because nobody else is going to do it. So it's, you know, there is a lot of that drama aspect that comes from it. I didn't experience it a lot with The Amazing Race, though, at all. It's definitely a different type of audience. So the audience, I would say, is definitely older. It's more of a family-friendly show. So I was lucky enough to have more of that good than bad. It was more uplifting. In the beginning, when we weren't doing so hot, it was like, oh, I don't know about these two girls. They're two cheerleaders. They want to do their makeup. But then we started proving people wrong, and we kind of, you know, flipped the script on them a little bit. So I don't know. You just the fighting and the drama, it makes me a little nervous. But like I said, I stand up for myself. If you're going to say something to me behind, you know, a computer screen, then I'm going to come right back at you. And if, like I said, if you don't do it, who's going to do it for you? So
absolutely. And speaking of drama, there's another show that you're that some of my readers and a lot of reality television aficionados know you from, and that is Sequester.
Yes.
For those of my listeners who don't know about Sequester, could you briefly describe the show to them? And also, Why did you decide to participate in during this for the show's sophomore season?